Any great program, any iconic program that we have in our school has a great teacher at the center of it. Anything for which we are known, anything that kids rave about, anything that alumni return to make sure that it's still going well and strong, has a great teacher at the center of it. And what it does for faculty members who remain is to say, I can do this here. I've seen it done by 13 who left. I can carry their programs forward, and I can create anything I want.
My students are very articulate, they're thoughtful, and they are motivated. And that's been a wonderful experience. And because they're motivated, that motivates me. But they also make me honest. And I guess that's something that I respect about them. I think English teachers have an advantage because they get to know more about students' lives because of writing. I try to give them experiences that will make them connect to the real world, experiences that will help them to grab onto something and take it to the next level, and to, I guess, make them say, oh, aha, I never thought of that before. That's what I hope to go for.
PDS is all about what works best for the students. It's not what is easiest for this group or that group, but it is all about how we provide the best education possible. So it's an idealistic microcosm of society. It's so many people who have the same goal, the same ideal, to create this wonderful preparation for students who are going out into the world, and we hope will make it a better place. When we're all working together in that way, when we're all part of what's going on for our students, it's something greater than the pieces that come together. You know, it's just a symbiotic magic.
The children have taught me to stay young, that really the teaching is one part of the day, but just how they grow. I just love the kids, you know, and I teach math, but I really think I'm looking at the whole student, and that's what I care about. The kids are just the best part of this whole thing. Like to think I made a difference in some lives, and I believe I have. You know, it's that old starfish story, you know, where the boy's walking on the beach and is throwing a starfish into the sea, and someone comes by and says, what are you doing that? There's so many starfish. And he says, well, if I made a difference in one starfish's life, then it's worth it. And if you're patient long enough, you get notes from them, or you see them later, or you hear the successes that they've done, and that's what it's all about. That's why it's not a job.
So in 1965, we moved from Miss Fine's school to Princeton Day School. It was at an all-girls school at Miss Fine's, and it was co-ed here. Mrs. Shepard was a legendary English teacher at Miss Fine's and at PDS. And Mrs. Shahadi, who taught math, was one of the loveliest people you could ever meet. There are any number of teachers here that are important to me and to other people at the school. I mean, I think it was always trying to achieve what was best for the student. I think that was their aim, and I think they were successful. I remember there was a student a few years ago who said it's okay to be different at PDS, and I think that's true. You know, you don't have to be an athlete or a scholar. You could be in the sciences or the arts or whatever, and you're accepted.
Princeton Day School is my ideal of how to live my life in a way in which they actually pay me to do this, but I'm having incredible fun doing it. I've come into school looking forward to a class we're about to begin, like this morning's class. I mean, I find that I can really enjoy the freedom I have to teach the way I want to teach. I enjoy being able to interact with the people that I see every day here. It is the place that I look forward to coming into because I interact with these really bright kids every day and really bright faculty every day. And, you know, that's the one thing when I worry about what comes after, I worry about that not being there anymore. And how do we recreate something that's going to appeal to me, because I've learned to enjoy that so much over the years.
Princeton Day School has been an absolute joy to teach at. Princeton Day School was life-changing for me in the sense that I could be myself in and out of the classroom. Princeton Day School is a extraordinarily tolerant place for a teacher like me to work at. It's been a complete blessing. The relationship between faculty person, teacher, and student is what defines that sort of open, ideally honest, reciprocal relationship between teacher and student is the hallmark, to my mind, of PDS over the decades I've been at this school.
I teach in the middle school at this age when they're discovering who they are and their place in the world and starting to notice and empathize with other people. I have learned to see that and encourage it, perhaps draw it out. A theater classroom gives you lots of opportunity for that. A theater classroom and the theater in general is one-stop shopping for not only every discipline, but all kinds of social and emotional growth. I think you could do it all in a theater. But I take home this sense of having spent my day in a meaningful way, which is a lovely thing to be able to say.
The dragon in our class, he was here well before I was here, but we don't know when he arrived. He really encourages us in his own way to investigate things, to have a joy about life, to run through the fields, to write poetry, to think about fiction. And he's just part of our community. So we talk a lot about community and getting along and working through glitches and, everything that goes into being a family in a classroom. So I feel like the dragon has been watching all these years, just as I have.
I think I'm really lucky because I have so many friends that work and don't enjoy going to work every day, and I really love my job. These are all my kids, and the relationships go on and on and on and on and on. They always come back and visit. I still see people outside of school. I've made some really close friends through relationships that were developed here. You become really attached to families whose children you work with all the time, and sometimes you go through things together. They're there for you, you're there for them. I find it to be an incredibly special place that way. So leaving is a mixed bag because there are so many kids down the hallway I look at and think, I need that kid in my classroom. But I think I'll never lose my connection to PDS because it's too deeply woven into the fabric of my world. So
PDS has given me the opportunity to grow tremendously. Being a teacher is who I am. And I think it always will be who I am, even going into the future. So it's personally and also professionally, it's kind of bound up in the same package. I've been teaching for 35 years. My goal has always been to instill a love of music in our youngest bodies. The love of singing, the love of playing, performing, and just the love of listening and appreciating. Because I know that going out there, that most of them aren't going to be performing. So they're going to be the appreciators, they're going to be the concert goers. But I want them to be educated listeners and educated concert goers. I want them to have some kind of an understanding and appreciation for it. So that's my first thing, is a love of music, just deep down inside.
The reputation of PDS as a school community was really borne out by what I saw. And I have been very impressed with the care and the diligence that is taken in making this a community where students, faculty, and administration really work hard at being part of a togetherness that is very positive to me. I say thanks for offering me a chance to make a difference in a different setting, and to conclude that with the old adage, leave them laughing when you say goodbye.
The one thing that I would miss the most, I guess, is the daily interaction with the students. There are some students that camp out in my office. There were many, many years where the girls would just come in, or the young men would come in and just hang out. They don't have any business to do. They just come in and visit, and we talk about whatever is the topic of the day. So, because that's my job, to help the students. When the end of the day is over, that's my job. I'm the one who's always at my desk. I eat at my desk most of the time, just so I can be at my desk for any student who might walk in at any given moment.
In my class, every student is bringing a superpower to the class. They may have areas of humanity and weakness and so on, which we all have. But as a group, we celebrate the completeness of the classroom within the space, within the safety of the room, and we need to honor and respect each other for what they bring to the team, and know that we are all working on our weaknesses together. And that we want them to grow into themselves, not into any set standard. Open their eyes, be able to speak in their own voice, and make decisions that will eventually lead to wisdom.
I think the promise we make, and have always tried to make, is that come back to us in 5 years, come back to us in 10 years. And the school that you knew and the school to which you gave your career will be doing the exact same things and honoring its faculty in the exact same ways that it has done during your time here and that it's doing tonight.